I don't mind. Alright, hi. I am back. If you guys don't know me, I'm SRGTsilent. I did the last run. Hydrate indeed. Welcome to Resistance Fall of Man on the PlayStation 3. You might immediately notice this game is not cute. This is not as cute at all. Slightly different game. So, first thing I want to point out is that we are on New Game Plus. The reason for New Game Plus... There's no monkeys, sad. The reason for New Game Plus is twofold. First off, cutscenes, skippable. They're normally not. Second off, there are 5 exclusive weapons that are only unlocked if you beat the game once and then start a new game. We're going to make very liberal use of 2 of those. But, yeah, whenever time is ready, we'll be good to go. I'm just going to call time when I click start here. Technically, it's different than that, but it doesn't matter. All right. 3, 2, 1, go. So we start with a 17-second unskippable cutscene. So, the only tech in the first level is headshots are fast, and we don't have any form of health recovery in this level at all. If we take any damage, in the bottom right, you see our ammo count. In the bottom left, you see our HP. Every damage tick we take is going to make this level harder and harder and harder to beat. We start with it. It's a full motion video. It's cut it some slack. In-game cutscenes aren't skippable, but cutscenes in between levels are skippable. So the way this game works, this is a launch day PS3 game. You might recognize that because it uses everyone's 3 favorite PS3 colors: gray, brown, and bloom. If you see a color other than gray, brown, or bloom, please call the PS3 police. They use too many colors in this game. Right off the bat, this is our first New Game Plus weapon. This is the Reapers. You would normally not have that on a first-time playthrough, but we have it, and we're gonna use it when we can. It lets you fire 2 guns at once, which is really good. It doesn't have a lot of DPS, but it has high attack speed. Gonna launch a 40mm grenade to take out 2 of these 3 enemies right off the bat, and we're gonna move towards the end of this level. A lot of the things you see me using here when it comes to grenades, when it comes to, well, specifically consumables like grenades, ammunition itself is not that much an issue. It's very specific. When I throw a grenade, when I use a 40mm, it's all, for the most part, been specifically routed to be the fastest possible route that I know of. I'm the only one routing this game. I got the route from another guy named Robbie, Epic Dude Guy, you might know him, and since his original world record of a 158, I have, over the last 2 years, brought this game from a 158 RTA to a 125 RTA. My routing and new strats and everything over the past 2-3 years has brought this game down over 30 minutes. I would love to have you come contribute more. This game series needs more love. But the last level, we got the Chimeran. The enemies you see me killing here, they're called Chimera. They're basically aliens who want to devour your heart, soul, and mind. Literally, in that order. heart, soul, then mind. They're pretty smart, but they use like a hive mind system. You could think of them, if you play Warhammer, as Tyranids. If you don't know what that is, basically smart person controls many menials. When it comes to stairs, fastest form movement is actually to jump up them and go up them diagonally. Going upstairs directly is pretty slow, so you're gonna see me doing a lot of jumping up slopes when I can. Melee in this game is also super powerful. Whenever I melee something, they're probably going to die. Melee is just insane. Well, I landed on a hybrid. The two scary things in this game, melee and explosives. So, if you see me start being very scared, it's because I'm either about to be hit by a melee or I'm about to be hit by an explosive. And I will probably die if either of those hit me. Even on easy, this game is not considered easy. If you're new to first-person shooters, especially console shooters, you will die. Even on easy, this game will kill you. It took me a good probably 6 months to get this game to a point where I only died twice on average during a run. Because some rooms are just mean. They're just mean. But yeah, what I was saying before is I have the the hybrids, the Chimera's main assault weapon, which is the bullseye. That's gonna be my primary weapon in this game. It has a auto lock-on feature. All weapons have a secondary fire, and it also has the highest fire rate, balanced with the highest DPS output. Problem is, it has really bad spread, which is why it has the secondary fire of a lock-on. The TLDR on the story at this point is the Americans are secretly being deployed to England to help combat this alien infestation that broke out of Russia during, like, pre-World War I? I don't even think... No, it's like pre-World War II. It's basically an alternative history. The U.S. public doesn't know about this yet, but at this point, the Chimera are... Oh, yep, that's what I was talking about with explosions. I saw that, and I was like, oh, it's too late. Unfortunate, because I didn't have a checkpoint yet. We've been sent here to help, and the Chimera are pretty much just utterly demolishing humanity. This game suffers from super soldier syndrome. A lot of this game is gonna be, hey look, I'm the hero we didn't know we needed, and I'm gonna one-man army this entire game. Alright, knock them out, knock them out. So the structure of this level, there are 3 points that I need to take control of. You know you've gotten it because there's a audio line at the bottom you can see in the subtitles, as well as hear it if you guys are listening. Get out of the way. Once you take up 3, then more enemies are going to come in from 2 different points. Levels in this game will end one of 2 ways. They will end because you've killed the final enemy, or they will end because you've reached what is essentially called a trigger point. This level, it ends when we kill the final required enemy. That's when it starts ending. Whereas the prior 2 levels, they ended on trigger points. So we're going to move into the final position. And this game has really weird bullet travel speed. Like, this is considered like a minigun, but you can actually see all of the bullets firing. So what we're going to do is we're just going to camp here and let these hybrids walk in front of my turret. Hey. Let these hybrids walk in front of my turret or jump into it, and that's going to be how this fight works. Or they'll do that and they'll body block each other, which is annoying because then I have to actually hunt them down, and that loses a little bit of time. But once the final one is done, the mission starts ending. This game has 30 missions. That is the first 3 missions right there. That is York 1, York 2, and York 3. So now we're moving on to Grimsby. Because we have skippable cutscenes, you guys don't know what's happening, but basically, the Chimera were like, alright, whatever, screw this, and they launched a missile in, which was carrying basically a biological agent that instantly infected all of the Americans. And we were taken to a conversion plant, as it's known. A conversion tower, conversion center, they're all the same thing. And in this tower, Hale, who is the guy we're playing as, for reasons that are too advanced to explain in the time we have, and because I don't want to, is immune to the Chimeran virus. So he wakes up, and he is now trying to escape. So this is where we're going to pull out our first use of the Reapers. Remember how I said melee, very, very scary in this game? That means for enemies, too. Each one of these melees is a normal melee. They did not dumb down the melee, even though you have 2 weapons. So I can melee twice as fast and do full melee damage with every melee. So I just destroyed that entire room. All those hybrids that came rushing to meet me, gone. Just like that. So now we're going to get introduced to the main mechanic. We have a no major skips and a regular category, and any percent. This is why any percent exists. I put my face in this corner and I go through wall. There's going to be a lot of that. Put face in corner and wall not there. Walls are a suggestion put up by Insomniac in this engine. They are, and I like them. I like walls just being a suggestion because there are some missions in this game that are, to call them not fun would be doing them too much justice. So, no major skips bans 2 things. It bans any form of intentional out of bounds and any form of clipping through walls. Those do need distinct for a specific reason, which we'll see coming up in Grimsby 3. The downside to that clip, though, is I skipped getting a weapon called the shotgun. I know, simple weapon. Because I didn't get it there, I now don't get it until later. The way this game works, though, is if you don't pick up a weapon, at a certain point in the game, it just says, screw it, here, and it gives it to you. It does that for all of the main weapons. The 5 exclusive New Game Plus weapons, if you don't pick them up, you don't get them. And that is actually very relevant because there is a New Game Plus weapon, that we will not be picking up for reasons that will be explained later. At this point, a lot of the game is just run and gun. Knock down enemies that are in our way so they don't harass us. Because as I said, on easy, you will die. I have regenerative health now because the getting infected essentially awoke the Chimera virus in me. You can see how fast I take damage even on easy. Let's not even talk about the difficulty called Superhuman. AKA 4 times as hard as this. Alright. So this is the hardest room in the early game. It's very easy to die in here if I'm not paying attention or if I'm not taking enemies out. Enemy behavior in this game is completely random. If a enemy wants to suddenly appear in a place he normally never appears in, ow. Oh god, I might die. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. It's fine. I'm fine. It's fine. If an enemy wants to appear in a place where he normally doesn't, he will, because, game. I missed a grenade pickup that I would normally have, and that concerns me. I don't know why I am short on grenades, but it's should be fine. What matters is we got through the room without a death. That's the important thing, is we got through the room without a death. So we're on good pace. So earlier I skipped a cutscene where I freed a female soldier known as Rachel Parker. Parker is the person narrating the story. Whenever you hear a female on the radio, it's Parker. The story is told from her perspective, but you play as Hale. You play his perspective, but it's narrated by her. Because while Hale does actually have a lot of dialogue and conversation in this game, they wanted to give like a story overarching aspect in the cutscenes, but then let the player experience the gameplay, if that makes sense. Which I actually really like how they told it. So right now we freed Parker, and our goal is to get out of this camp. So we're in like a dockyard, and the end of the level is coming up. You're meant to do... Keep in mind, whenever I say you're meant to, you're about to see something, Yes. Thank you, Insomniac, for designing this game the way you did. You are meant to go through this fight, push up through a bunch of waves, ow, and get to essentially a shuttle. But this wall is a little too low so that you can just hop on it, and we're now out of bounds. Get up there. Now I want to show something off out of bounds because it's cool. There's a group of hybrid that spawn here. I'm going to spawn them for you guys. So now these guys just exist out here. If you ever wanted to examine a hybrid model, or a menial, because he apparently exists, there you go. You can get up close and personal with them. No idea why. Those enemies don't exist. They were just stored out of bounds, and you could just trigger them. So, you know, fun little facts. Over there is all walkable. Like, 90% of out of bounds is solid collision. You could just explore. I've walked around this entire area. There's a lot of cool stuff out there, actually. Alright, so we're in Manchester. This is my favorite single line of dialogue in the game because of what we do in this category. So I'm going to let what happens speak for itself. Alright, so if you guys didn't catch what happened there, the English soldier said the American reinforcement, as in one reinforcement, showed up. He then promptly clipped through a wall and said, nope, 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 goodbye. And he left. So we're now out of bounds. This is the hardest level in the game when it comes to early game. This level is extremely random. It is extremely difficult. You have to push through, not endless, but a lot of constantly spawning enemies, or very slowly take them all out, and you die. Die. It's bad. Also, if you guys are interested, If you ever heard of the Manchester Cathedral incident, this is the Manchester Cathedral. I highly suggest you Google Manchester Cathedral incident and give it a good solid read, because it is fascinating what happened here. This game is the reason the reason behind the Manchester Cathedral incident. This literally right here, what you were looking at, is why it happened. So we are fighting like a mini boss. This is called a howler. I like to compare them to Kroot hounds from Warhammer 40k, because they just kind of look like that. Yep, Resistance Fallen Man, Manchester Cathedral incident, something along those lines. It'll bring up an entire Wikipedia article on it on freedom of speech. It's a good read. So we are now inside the cathedral, and this is pretty disliked level. So the way this game works is if you die, you get sent back to the last checkpoint you picked up. Yeah, that would pretty much lead to it. Ooh, I apologize. I didn't know that. I got grappled. So if you get grabbed in this game, you have to use the PlayStation 6-axis feature, or you will take a lot of damage. So this game, actually being a launch title PlayStation 3 game, heavily utilizes the PlayStation 3's 6-axis feature. If you don't have 6-axis, this game is beatable, but is kind of hard because getting grappled is pretty much a death sentence. So now we get introduced to Steelheads. Steelheads also introduce us to a new weapon called the Auger. The Auger is a nice, cool little gun that lets you shoot through walls. In this game, it's not terribly useful, but in other Resistance games, it's actually quite useful. So we're gonna pick up something right there called Backlash Grenades. Backlash Grenades are the second New Game Plus weapon we're going to pick up, and they are broken. Basically, Backlash Grenades, what they do is they function as a reflection grenade. That guy just clipped through a wall, by the way. So if I throw one here, any and all damage coming my way is instantly reflected back. So you can essentially throw a backlash grenade down, and what that lets you do is just go, nah, and run through an entire room, as you saw there. The backlash grenades are essentially what makes New Game Plus as a run. Dude, can you stop, please? Broski? Oh my god, Broski. Alright, whatever. I don't need him. I don't need him in my life. Damn it, third grapple. This run is going the heck and back. You do not need Rumble. As long as you have 6-axis, you could play this game. So, my second checkpoint was right after I got past those dogs. There are no more checkpoints in this run. If I die, I go all the way back over to that bridge between here and the end of the level. These are mines. They pop out of the ground. They scary. We're going to do a small skip here, which for some reason I'm missing. And basically what this does is it stops us having to go around and then back around and fight a small firefight. There we go. It's just a small little playground skip. Okay, we're going to take out these guys rushing us. And now what we're going to try to do is snipe guy and not get hedgehog. Those hedgehogs that pop out of the ground right there, one shot. If we get hit by those hedgehogs even on easy, it's a one shot. Another cool fact about hedgehogs, if a hedgehog is on the other side of the map and one single quill from it hits you in the head, you die instantly. Even on easy, headshots are a one-shot kill if it hits you in the head. So, yeah, you're going to see me taking cover from hedgehogs whenever I know they're about to pop up and I can't take them all out. But, yeah, the article you linked, the Resistance Manchester Cathedral controversy, or whatever, that's the article that, I was talking about. So there are 3 enemies that can grapple you. Again, you don't need 6-axis, but, you have to shake the controller in order to get out of them faster. There is no alternative. Even the melee button doesn't get you out of them faster. So yeah, you'd have a hard time playing this game without genuine 6-axis. So this is Manchester 3. The intended thing to do is to clear out the center and then hold the center position. And from there, take out all of these enemies. But we're actually gonna do like a roundabout thing where we go all the way around the outside, slowly taking all of these enemies out. And what that's gonna let us do is throw a backlash here, and we're now behind the enemy position. The AI in this game is designed to lock onto me, so one backlash grenade means goodbye every single enemy in the level. That's it. They're gone. It was that easy. We're gonna pick up some more backlash grenades because, again, the route is centered on backlash grenades. They are what make or break this game. You'll notice that I am weapon cycling. There is a menu to let me choose whatever weapon I want, which you'll see later. But at this point in the game, I'm not using it because it actually pauses the entire game to bring it up. Alright, let's see. Did we get any Lightspeed Larrys or Sonic Steves? We did not. So, the way the... Oh, we did! We got a Lightspeed Larry. The way the devs set that little crate up is they literally put every enemy model, they just went, screw it. Right there. Smack dab in the middle. So, when they gain sentience or entity, this game has collision detection where it will pop objects out of one another at really, really fast speeds. So fast that the enemies can actually clip through the wall. So that's why there was a hybrid outside the wall. This is a Stalker. Stalkers are meant to be like mini boss enemies that are a challenge. But, well, we have the Augur, and the cool thing about the Augur is that the Augur goes through objects. Now, another cool thing about the Augur is that for every object an Augur shot passes through, think of its damage being multiplied 1 time. So if an Augur passes through a Augur shield, its damage is multiplied once. If an Augur passes through 2 Augur shields, its damage is multiplied twice. If it passes through an enemy soldier, 2 Augur shields, and the front of a Stalker, its damage is multiplied 4 times. That's why we didn't use the Augur earlier, because if that Stalker behaves and just stands still, which unfortunately he did not, you are doing 4 times damage to that Stalker with every Augur shot, and you can take him down in like 25 shots. So yeah, good game. Alright, so this is Nottingham 1. Nottingham 1 has 1 checkpoint. If we die, we have to redo the whole mission. So right off the bat, we're going to go for a Kobe. Did we get it? Hey, we got the Kobe. That spawns these enemies up here faster, so we don't have to lose time dealing with them. So remember, 1 checkpoint. That means HP management here is really important. Explosions are scary. I need to carefully take out these enemies, carefully manage my HP, don't kill myself, don't run into explosions, and get through this alive. Hardest part of the level is done. It's literally that opening push is the hardest part of the entire level, especially on higher difficulties when there are more enemies to try to get me. Ow, dude. So I'm just gonna hop into this bunker instead of walking all the way around. And then I'm gonna go for Kobe 2, and that's also called Kobe Free. Take out that guy who's meant to try to punish you. And the cool thing about this is the final fight of the level. You are meant to be scared of that lower room and take out those enemies before pushing in. The way this level ends is by killing that guy, that guy, that guy, and that guy. None of those enemies below matter. You could just run through that room without a care in the world. Don't try that on Superhuman. But it do work like that. I've spent a lot of time routing this game and exploring. I know more about this game than I bet some of the devs do. This game is weird, but cool. Like, well, before that, so we're being introduced to a Titan. A Titan is a new enemy type. And basically, Titans are big. What we're going to do is we're going to make him melee the ground as much as possible so he's not scary. Fun fact about this game, while I kill this Titan, is did you guys know that Insomniac Games did not actually get a dev kit PS3 model to make sure this game worked on PS3 until a month before the release of this game? They had to build this entire game on a computer and then in 1 month's time port it to a dev kit PS3 model and hope it didn't break. So this is the biggest skip in the game. This is what makes New Game Plus New Game Plus. Those backlash grenades I have, I'm going to line up and throw 2 backlash grenades and shoot this. If we line it up correctly, that bridge that just broke will actually not break. No matter if I miss this, I lose about 30 seconds every time I miss it. If I skip doing this, I lose many minutes. So it is extremely worth it to attempt to get this trick. Like that. So what is actually happening here is the way the devs designed this level was that they want the player to take the specific middle bridge. So you'll see those drop and break that bridge. They want us to take that bridge. That bridge has like 6 triggers on it, which are enemies. And if you have ever fought an enemy on a one-on-one corridor where they have 60 and you have 1 and they don't stop coming, then you know what it's like to try to cross that bridge. So by essentially throwing that backlash grenade and preventing that bridge from being exploded, we remain in bounds. Important, we remain in bounds. And we cross the bridge without hitting any of the triggers. And that bypasses the literal worst fight in the game. If you've played this casually, then you'll know how bad that fight can be, I bet. Alright, so for this, we're gonna wear this Titan down a little bit. The enemies we need to progress don't actually spawn until we've done a little bit of damage to this Titan. You don't actually have to kill it. You just have to damage him to get these hybrids to spawn and this elevator to open. That lets us progress further into the level. And last level, we picked up a weapon. Hey. We picked up our sniper rifle. Sniper rifle lets us do that. Of course it does. It's a sniper rifle. But a lot of FPS games, what they do with snipers is they let you do this really cool thing where you essentially slow time down for, one reason or another. And we're going to utilize that a few times throughout this game. Because what slowing time down does is, it obviously lets you get better headshots. But on enemies that are really tough and will do a lot of damage to us for no reason, we can just pop them in the head and take them out. So we're at the final fight. This is, again, like the Howler, meant to be like a mini boss, but it turns out that if you're behind this wall, if I'm positioned right, which I was not, this guy can't actually hit you. That's never happened before. If you get behind this wall just right, he can't actually hit you. So I'm 90% certain what happened there was the Titan took a step forward, which is specifically what I was referring to before. And I guess the spot doesn't work if the Titan takes a step forward. Killing that Titan is required to end the level, though, so we do have to kill him. Thankfully, that death wasn't super bad. We did not get sent very far back at all. So now we're coming into Cheshire. If you guys have played this game before, I'm sorry for what I'm about to do. Cheshire is a good level. It has the third New Game Plus weapon. The arc charger. Yeah, I'm sorry. But, so, remember how I said walls are a suggestion? I'm gonna throw a backlash at our feet. That's gonna prevent the enemies coming up behind us from attacking us if they do notice us go in here. We're just gonna push our face into this wall and then start jumping. When you jump, some walls you actually clip faster. So now we're on the other side of that wall. Do you guys like games where the ending of the level is right next to the start of the level? Because I really like games where the ending of the level is directly next to the start of the level. By the way, we're at the end of the level. That was Cheshire 1. Level done. Fun fact about Spyro and this game. They're both made by Insomniac. If you guys did not know that, that's actually very, very nice that those two games are back to back. You get to see Insomniac's finest followed by Insomniac's finest. So now that we're in level 2, essentially what we did was we turned the power on for the entire base. And now we have to backtrack through the doors that turning the power on has opened up for us. But this game doesn't really make it feel like backtracking, which is good. This is the best shotgun round in the game because it's a long-range shotgun. As long as you are on that barrel, it will blow that barrel up 99% of the time. There's like a 1% chance that the barrel just ricochets and rolls off, and it's like, what? Why did... Okay. So, 3 Chimera are gonna try to rush us, but we're gonna move into a position where we don't care. Throw a grenade to make those Chimera dodge. and then push through this little hallway full of leapers here. It's possible to actually proxy off of leapers and get launched into the ceiling, but Reaper proxies are extremely rare, and I think there's only been like 8 ever done. That's an arbitrary number, but trust me, it's small. And then we're gonna do what we get again, because Insomniac did this lazy thing in video game development called copy pasta. If you see a wall, chances are that wall exists somewhere else in the game. So this gate texture, gate geo, literally the exact same gate geo as the first one we clipped through. So we're just gonna do it again. That skips picking airfoil grenades up as early as you could, but it also skips several annoying fights and a bunch of these things spawning. These are called leaper pods. Leaper pods are relatively okay as long as you know they're coming. Basically, it just spawns a bunch of leapers. Alright. And with that, we're done the next one. Ooh. So how is everyone today, by the way? I don't think I asked. Ant. I'm not sleepy. Yo, that's nice. I did see your Twitter post. So let's see if we get on Michael Jackson. Nope, we get grabbed. So this menial can actually like slide to the left out from cover. And it looks dope, but we didn't get it, so. We also got grabbed, so I wouldn't even know if we got it or not. We picked up, we picked up airfoil grenades there. Airfoil grenades are cool because airfoil grenades, basically what happens is you literally ignite the air on fire. So all of these hybrids that were in this room, yeah, we did that. Hybrids and Chimera in general are extremely weak to fire. Let me emphasize that. Extremely, like capital letters, extremely weak to fire. I'm emphasizing that for a reason. Not yet, but later, you'll see. Oh, crap. So, we saved this guy's life with the Reapers. Remember, I pointed out that a Reaper melee is a full-fledged melee damage. But we're doing it twice as fast. So I want everyone to picture this scenario that was brought up to me the other day while I was streaming this game. Imagine this. You're a lone British soldier trapped in a room with several large Greyjacks. One of them is about to choke you to death. And this lone American soldier from out of nowhere rushes into your room with 2 pistols equipped and just starts pistol whipping these guys as fast as he can without saying a single word. He kills 8 of them with you. Again, not a single word spoken, just flailing the pistols and then leaves. You're that English soldier. How do you feel? How do you feel right now about what just happened? So this is the final fight of Cheshire. It's intended to be this big, huge fight. We're going to hit a trigger to get this, what's called a tunneler to spawn in. Throw a well-timed airfoil grenade to take out what we hoped was most of the enemies in one throw. Unfortunately, enemies are not playing nice today. That's unfortunate. But we'll get through it. As long as all of the enemies are dead, the level will end. I'd ask to wake up. So I'm gonna show you guys something really cool. It's gonna lose a little time, but we're having fun here. So in this level, this is Somerset. I love Somerset. There's a bunch of destroyed buildings here, which, what that means is the devs had to model most of these houses. So the cool thing about that is this door exists, and well, yeah, devs model door good. That is one of many fun little things that exist in this game. If you ever want to just, you know, go exploring and see what exists in the wild world of England. So this level also has a really big out of bounds, but unfortunately, because of how heavily focused on triggers this level is, the out of bounds is almost useless to us in general. The reason for that is you absolutely have to hit quite a few triggers in this level in order to get the level to progress. So unfortunately, we have to run through and actually fight all of those. Where? Okay, you're being a jerk, and I need you to stop. But thankfully, we hit a checkpoint, which is going to spawn... Oh, we did not, because this guy is still alive. I'm going to grab these healths. That's going to spawn our first instance of a enemy known as Slip Skulls. Slip Skulls are the enemies that use the Reapers. And as such... they're kind of annoying because they have this weird, like, lock-on mechanic. I almost died there. I don't know where I'm taking shots from. But they're not very accurate despite having a lock-on mechanic. So they're not going to be a huge threat. But they can be annoying. Alright. Common ground. So this introduces vehicle mechanics. You are meant to go into a bunch of these little, like, mini chimeran structures. You could see two of them up ahead. But we have a lot of skips for this game, for this level even. Each of these towers has switches, but the devs didn't exactly think about this. Oh, okay, that's unfortunate. Come on. Ah! I have parked the Jeep in a bad spot. And now I'm stuck. Okay, let's try this again. Probably dead. That happens. That has happened before. Whoopsie. I'm just having fun showing the game off. I hope you guys are having fun too. So, continuing as if I'm not super embarrassed at that death. You're supposed to go into these towers and hit these switches, but the devs didn't block you off from hopping around the gate you're supposed to open. So you can literally just walk around it and trigger a checkpoint. Now, the reason that I throw a hedgehog at my feet after triggering that checkpoint is because the devs couldn't foresee you getting to the other side of that gate without the vehicle. So free vehicles. You don't need the vehicle, but it's very, 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 very slow to do this without the vehicle. So now we have the vehicle on the other side of the gate without hitting 2 buttons. Look at this. More towers. You're supposed to do 2 more buttons here. Guess what we have, guys? Earlier I talked about things like proxies and collision in this game. Well, the Jeep proxies you on top of it, and then you just casually clip into this wall, and yeah, we're now clipping into a wall here. We're getting proxied up, and we're trying to either get proxied high over an invisible wall or just clip straight out of bounds. There are 2 outcomes here. Well, there's actually a third one, but if we see the third one, we're gonna be big sad. Game, come on. Come on. There we go. So we've clipped through. Look at that. There are 3 more towers over there. Yeah. And you don't even need the Jeep to finish this level. So that was fun. That whole level about the Jeep thing? Nah. Jeeps are just a suggestion. So this is the newest skip. This skip was found about a year ago when I was looking for a new skip in this level. This level, you're intended to go to one side and then come back after watching a cutscene. The devs did not check their trigger placement very well. So yeah, instead of opening this gate, we're gonna hop on this switch and then hop on this gate. As Robbie would say, gate switches are good for 2 things: opening doors and getting on doors. So we're just gonna get on the door, simply go out of bounds, walk around the outskirts of this level, get on this rock. And now what we used to do was follow that fence I just passed. But what I found out is if you land on this Goliath, you can then land down here and back up, and a checkpoint pops. And all logic in this game is tied to checkpoints. So when that checkpoint pops, everything from here to the end of the level are loaded, as that's the final checkpoint. So congrats, we just skipped this entire level. This fight's kind of scary, so hopefully I don't accidentally spaghetti this. We'll see. I've done a lot of spaghetti so far. It could go anyway. I'm gonna try to take out all of those guys. We're gonna swap to our Hailstorm, the newest weapon we got in Somerset 1. It's just going to keep those enemies distracted so we can run through them and boom, get through that level. So there was a co-op exclusive skip that was actually found for that level, but it's slower than the new skip. So Bristol. This level is RNG. See these 2 stalkers walking around? If the Jeep gets stuck on them, if they take damage from enemies, from allied soldiers, if they block, like that right there, the Jeep getting stuck on him, that's damaging the stalker. Now it's gone. That's really bad for me because I need the stalker to get out of bounds. Now I have to wait on this second stalker. Please? That sucks. So, something to state about this game's AI is actually really good. Enemy AI knows where you are. They know how to take cover. The AI is the one thing, not one thing, is one of the things they did really good in this game. Your soldiers are actually good enough to take one of these stalkers out. Did not get the Jeep version. That's unfortunate. Dang it. And as such, how these stalkers move, how they react, what enemy soldiers are alive, which team wins, where you get stepped on, it's all random here. This is a worst case scenario of what could theoretically happen here. Because I need to get on a stalker or on the Jeep. Either one of those outcomes will work. We got the Jeep proxy, but we didn't get high enough to get out of... Again, I would like to emphasize, this is RNG. This is just absolutely abysmal RNG. It did not ever go this wrong during practice. This is why my estimate is so high. Because things like this happen. We did it. We're out. So, what happened there is the invisible wall is only high enough to prevent us from going out. But if we get on top of a stalker, the stalker can actually carry us out of bounds over the invisible wall. So, now that we're out of bounds, all of that down there is level that we're supposed to be playing. We're not going to play any of it. We don't have to play any of it. There's no reason to play any of it. We do need 3 HP, though. If we get out with less than 3, we have to do a slower backup way. That invisible wall is still there. So to get back in bounds, we actually have to take that specific movement. If we fall onto the truck instead of onto that rock, it will actually instant kill us because we've fallen too far. So that skips a trigger to spawn a huge fight and lets us just move completely through. So remember how I said that the word extremely, and I really emphasized the word extremely? Well, here's New Game Plus Weapon 4. The Dragon. The Dragon is fun. The moment I touched the ground, I got meleeed. What is going on, dude? So, we're gonna come around this corner, and now we have our friend, the L11-2 Dragon. Why do you guys think it's called the Dragon? I'll let y'all take a guess. Also, by the way, this level, it's meant to be kind of long, but this door has really bad collision. It's a layer deep in a cave where it keeps all its treasure. It does indeed. That is actually exactly why it's called the Dragon. It's possible to get soft locked in that truck, by the way. Then you can't finish the level. Fun fact. Yep. It's because it has a layer deep in a cave with all its treasure. If I'm lucky, I'll find the cave, but I've not found it yet. This is Bristol 3. It's the final Bristol level. We get control of a stalker now. Stalkers are fun, actually. They control like crap. They are extremely slippery. And the way to beat this level is to destroy 3 of the 4 turrets. Mortar cannons, and destroy 3 of the 3 titans. And just like that, it's over. That is the quickest mission in the game. I think we don't record ILs because the way this game works, they're kind of hard and to record. But I think world record on that is like 45 seconds to beat that IL. So now, for the rest of the game, this little guy, the dragon, he's our best friend. He's our best friend. So we're gonna move over here and pick up something called sapper ammo. We skipped the sapper earlier, but it's a default gun, so we get it for free. And we want that sapper ammo for a speed strat. We're gonna try to like jump on these rocks and then over. Unfortunately, we didn't get it. That's unfortunate. So we have to walk around because there are too many enemies to attempt it again. And now, yeah, so at this point in the story, if you guys don't know what's been going on, as you probably don't, the place we're at, Bristol, was known as Southern Command, and the Chimera bum rushed Southern Command and took it down. But they did that by using these things called burrowers or tunnelers. We dealt with one earlier. And Hale here, being immune and being the super soldier he is, decided, nah, bro, I ain't leaving, and jumped into the tunnel. So we are now in the Chimeran tunnel system underneath England. Remember I said this game has main character syndrome, as it was pointed out? It has a one-man hero syndrome. Yeah, this is where that really, really starts to show. One lone American, immune to the Chimeran virus, has jumped into the Chimeran tunnels below and is single-handedly pushing through them all. Also, I look like I'm confused, because I am. I don't have the order these platforms raise, memorized, but that's fine because this section is an auto-scroller. The only thing you can do to lose time is not defeat the final wave of enemies, optimally. Okay, Master Chief, settle down. This game, in a way, was meant to combat or to be equivalent to Halo. It wasn't. So there's another game on the PS3 that you all might know called Haze. Haze was marketed as the Halo killer, but Haze got delayed for reasons, and this game pretty much took Haze's place as the FPS that was supposed to, like, put Halo in its place. The story heavily parallels Halo too, if you think about it. You've heard of Haze? Be glad you've only heard of Haze. I could have submitted Haze, but Haze is a game that exists that nobody should put themselves through unless you're into some real messed up things. It's a first-person shooter with unskippable cutscenes. Lots of unskippable cutscenes. So we're gonna go for a pointless shot for no reason and try to get it. I think we did. Hey, we did. So there's not really any reason to go for that shot. If you get it, it triggers an explosion ahead of time, and it kills 2 hard fangs here. But, I mean, it's mostly just for swag to take that shot. But we got it. Yeah, well, I mean, if you're interested, speedrun.com/haze. Go enjoy the quality content of my 2-hour and 42-minute world record run. You'll regret everything. Oh God, I almost killed myself. Oh, that's not good. My health and HP actually. Did I just get stuck? Wait, what? Okay. My health and HP actually really matters here, so the fact that I got grabbed there is very unfortunate. I'm gonna bum rush up to a checkpoint and then probably die. Look at this dude. Alright, I'm gonna play this section safely so we don't lose a lot more time. You were thinking of Killzone? Kinda. No, I mean, Killzone is also a PlayStation exclusive FPS game. But I don't like Killzone that much, so I didn't submit it. But I do run 2 of the 6 Killzone games. Alright, I took it a little slow there, but it was better than dying. Killzone's okay. My copy of Killzone is right there. Yeah, there are 6 PlayStation 3 exclusive FPS games. Resistance 1, Resistance 2, Resistance 3, Killzone 2, Killzone 3, and Haze. I have ran 5 of 6 of those games. The only one I've not is Killzone 2, and the reason I've not ran Killzone 2 is because I just can't stand Killzone 2. You know what? If you know me, you will learn very quickly that SRGTsilent is the guy who speedruns games he utterly hates to play. Go look at my speedrun profile and you'll just be like, okay, I see how it is with this guy. Alright, so for this section, we're going to try to kill these steelheads with a mix of the dragon and grenades. It doesn't usually work out, but it's faster than the alternative. As long as we're not, like, about to die, it's fine. Steelheads, the auger fires pretty dang slow. You are supposed to be dead. So I have one more grenade I could spare here. Alright, I knocked him down with the explosion. That's what I wanted. This is essentially where the game gets kind of scary. The places where you see me like slow down and make sure enemies are dead, it's because if I don't do that, I will probably die. This is the only stealth section in the game. If I don't melee kill that guy, if I shoot him, every enemy in this room suddenly knows where I am, and that is big scary. So a stalker's gonna spawn, and we picked up this weapon earlier called the Lark. Lark's fun. If you've played this game casually, you probably know the Lark has 2 functions. It either hits an enemy with a giant rocket, or you can like break it in the air and redirect it. And a lot of people stop there and they go, I don't understand what the point of the secondary is. It's not really that good. The thing is that the game doesn't tell you. While air braked, if you hold the fire button, the Lark shoots out like 50 small homing missiles. Those homing missiles do a lot of damage. So that stalker I just killed, yeah, that's going to happen a lot now that I have the Lark. The Lark is the 2nd most powerful gun in the game. And the reason it's only 2nd is because, well, this gun exists. The dragon is a beast to be reckoned with. So I have to run around the upstairs of this mall. Remember, I said backlash grenades are very important. If I come really close to death, it's because I'm essentially ignoring almost all of the enemies in this mall to get through this section as fast as possible. So this is the New Game Plus Weapon 5. It's called the Splitter. We're only going to use it if we need a backup weapon, which we shouldn't. But we might. What is that roller doing? So here we're going for a skip. That little outskirt, that skip's having to walk around this area and do a really big fight. With a bunch of enemies and turrets and stuff we don't want to deal with. So now I'm gonna kill that guy. Inside of like a hotel, and we're coming up to the end of this section of London. All we have to do is get through these last enemies without being killed by the bunch of enemies in the room. He is never in that room. I have no idea what he was doing. Thank you, bro, for almost killing me. This has been a run. This has been a run. So now the true power of the Lark is going to be shown here. See that stalker? Did you see that stalker? See that Titan? Did you see that Titan? That's what the Lark can do. Even on Superhuman, that's what the Lark can do. So now that they're both dead, I'm just waiting for this tank to bring in my, or this VTOL to bring in my tank. Stay hydrated. I'm losing my voice. Too much talking. This is a Widowmaker. That was a Widowmaker. We have a tank. We don't care. The objective for this mission is to kill... Please hit. Okay. Game. To take out... What is happening? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 7 stalkers. Basically, we have to take all of these stalkers out in order to open gates up. On this difficulty, you're not, like, my tank is not going to die. But on higher difficulties, when enemy damage is increased, there is actually a real threat of death. So you do have to do more here, but in general, it's just walk through, kill all the stalkers to trigger this gate to raise. And then we're just gonna push through. That Widowmaker is still following us, but we don't care because the Widowmaker does no damage to a tank. Also, stalker debris can cause us to just do weird... Oh, okay, wait, maybe we care now. Oh my god, what is happening? We all saw a flying tank today. I hope you enjoyed that flying tank. I need to kill this Titan before he hits me like twice. Oh, I'm scared. Please don't blow up on me. Oh, that was clinch. That was monk-ass. Oh, that doesn't happen. So we're gonna duck into this doorway and try to get our friend Jimmy to come out of the hotel. Hopefully he does. If not, Jimmy's being a bad boy and we're gonna have to bring the dragon to Jimmy. We're gonna walk this specific path to get to these enemies and trigger Larry to come out of the wall. He did not. Larry is... Ow, Larry. Hey, but Jimmy came to us, so that's cool. In order to finish this level, you have to kill all of the 6 hybrids I just killed, and then the level end transition begins. Alright, so now we're on to the River Thames. Or, you know, River Thames or Thames if you're, I guess American. The River Thames. And so what happened is when we came out of the Chimeran tunnels, we ended up in London. And Hale was like, why is it snowing in London in July? And why is there a giant tower in London? And the British forces were like, that's not normal. Obviously, London is the epicenter for... Ooh, that was the wrong grenade. Obviously, London is the epicenter of this Chimera thing. All troops deploy to London. So now we're in London. and we're essentially launching a giant assault. Right now, the goal is the Chimera are trying to launch a assault against us using the London Bridge and Tower Bridge. That's actually Tower Bridge right there. We're trying to blow Tower Bridge up. But the Chimera are being butts about it. So right here, we got a warning that there'd be a Spire launch, but JK, they're actually sending in a Widowmaker, so that's our first Widowmaker. Oh, well, no, that was a Widowmaker. Remember how I said Larks are broken? Yeah. So, that was the big battle. That is the only unskippable cutscene that is skippable. You will always see one frame of that cutscene. I don't know why. So now we have to work a way across the rooftops along the River Thames. And we're going to be pushing into the subway station. Remember I said Chimera are extremely weak to fire? I think you guys have gotten a pretty good idea of what I mean by Chimera are extremely weak to fire, right? Right? Does anyone need more demonstrations? Do we want more demonstrations of why Chimera are extremely weak to fire? Like, I can give more. I'm not done. We get the message. So now I'm just gonna casually push into the subway system, and that's gonna be the first level of Tim's. Now this level on the ice is actually kind of scary, because of how crazy this run goes. I'm actually not going to show the optimal way to do this. I'm just gonna get through the level. But if you guys played multiplayer of this game when it was a thing, this is one of the multiplayer maps, and the glitches from that still work. So I need to be very careful not to go too far to the right, because the right actually has a nest of leapers that dealing with is very annoying. So this is a really challenging fight, but if you just throw a backlash grenade and then a lark out, pretty much every enemy in this room deletes themselves for you, which is super cool, because then you don't have to deal with anything in that room. I mean, I don't mind, but it's your channel. I am weak to fire too. Yo, what up, Red? So now we're moving through a subway system. I've pretty much just turned into a play-by-play for this game. At this point in this run, that's what this run needs, is a play-by-play. So we're now on the ice. The name of the level, ladies and gentlemen, we have a level. The ice is very easy to just ignore the intended way to go around. So we're just gonna hop up like all of the level geo and skip a whole bunch of fights and triggers. Thank you, Red. I appreciate it. Because the level is designed in a way that lets us do that. Save on dragon, because at this point there's only one dragon refill left in the game, and I need to make sure I manage it accordingly. There's something very specific coming up that I need a minimum of 15, but depending on RNG, I could need up to 25. So, you're supposed to use this Jeep here. At this point, we've seen what happens to stalkers when you have Lark missiles. That's what happens to stalkers when you have Lark missiles. So we're just gonna completely ignore that Jeep and just get out and yeah. It is actually important that you drive the Jeep away. if the Jeep is too close, the Lark missiles will actually track onto the Jeep for some reason, and that's very annoying. Alright. So now we get another Stalker, and we have the Goliath. I guess it's just a mini-boss. One thing I should mention is, prior to like 2 weeks ago, I was playing on a US disc, and then found out that there is actually a PAL digital version of this game, which on a PS3, PAL doesn't mean a bunch, but digital on a PlayStation 3 means a lot. So once I started playing digital, I saved over 4 minutes alone in loads. So yeah, it's crazy. The reason I bring up the PAL though is because this Goliath, depending on your movement, will actually act differently on PAL. This is the movement I'm used to him doing, but the last few runs I've done, he's actually been moving in a really weird way, and I don't... What the heck? You know what? This run's just gonna be one for the books. I've never seen that before. That's also never happened before. What did he just do? He danced in the middle of the snow. What just happened? So, the mean thing about this level is these two Stalkers have to be killed if you want to get the checkpoint. Look how much damage those two Stalkers did to me. If you finish that Goliath fight with like one hit and then die, you have to refight the entire Goliath. Now, oh, you see this? This is scary. This is scary. If I had skipped those the Stalkers, as I could have done, and just gone over here and died, I would have had to redo everything. So for the final fight, we're just gonna set it up so that as this door opens, you can tell it's opening because of the power currents. What? That's why we got the checkpoint. You know, I'm beginning to think that submitting this game to marathons is cursed. Like, casually playing or speedrunning this on my stream, none of this happened. This is one of the worst Fall of Man runs I have ever seen. This game is cursed at marathons, dude. It really is. What is going on? Anyway, I'm just gonna time it so that all of these guys are killed. Walk towards this gate, and now Cartwright, who is a guy who's been with us the whole time but have not really introduced, is gonna get knocked over by this Widowmaker, and he's gonna yell at us for being too slow. So obviously that Widowmaker right there, I just killed him. Too slow. I was messing about. So obviously I need to, you know, go faster. And I'm sorry, Cartwright. I'll go faster, Cartwright. I'll go faster. On the plus side, Mission 29. We are close to the end of the game. There's about 10 minutes more left, so we should still be fine. So, something that happens, I've not really pointed it out, is whenever you get a new weapon, the game auto swaps your weapons. Oh, I have an extra backlash grenade. To whatever the new thing you just picked up is. So, This is probably the second worst fight in the game. So I'm going to use both backlashes since I have it to make this fight go quicker. And I'm just going to use a Lark and a Dragon to completely clear out this room. These hybrids are known as Mark 3s. No, I don't know if these are Mark 2s or advanced hybrids. But basically, they have Mark 2 bullseyes. And the Mark 2 bullseye is extremely scary. If you run into that room without any kind of preparation, you're just gonna die. So I'm gonna use this Lark and take out that last one if I can. Congratulations, you guys got to see a splitter because I swapped to it on accident. And now, this is our final dragon pickup for the rest of the run. I have to make what I pick up here last for the remaining entirety of the game. It's also our final backlash pickup of the run. So, this dragon and this backlash, this is what I have for the rest of the run. These two weapons are what make any percent New Game Plus any percent New Game Plus. I said that earlier, but it's really worth emphasizing. If either of these weapons goes awry, I'm in a bad spot. But we should be okay because I have done this a lot of times, despite what it may look like. I have done this a lot of times. So I'm going to specifically use 2 right there. That's unfortunate. I just took too much damage. And enemies, remember, their gunshots, their patterns, their movements are all random. So, unfortunately, the enemy just locked onto me. And I mean, he locked onto me there. That airfoil I throw there, that takes out all of the hybrids but this one. So that's why I do that. That's unfortunate. Alright, come on, game. Throw me a bone. I need a bone, game. I really need a bone. Alright, backlash grenade. These rooms are terrible. That's why I throw a backlash grenade, because without a backlash grenade, you take a lot of damage in these rooms. As you could see from the last run, even with a backlash grenade, I took a lot of damage. Okay, this is much better. This is much better. Alright. That's the last hard part of the run. From here on out, it's smooth sailing. Until I die to some other foreseen consequence that I don't even know if I want to name, because at this point I'll just jinx myself if I've not already jinxed myself. We're just gonna throw a little grenade in there, get these guys, manipulate them to move in a way we want that's favorable, get them out of the way. Because again, we want to preserve our dragon as much as we can. Do the same thing here for these guys. If they let me, he wasn't nice. That's unfortunate. We do have a lot of dragon though, so we're fine. We're fine. Gonna use like 2 more places of the dragon. God, I can see it now. Something's gonna go wrong on the final boss. At this point, we might as well do a prediction of, will the final boss be a final boss? Like, I don't even know. Something's gonna happen. I'm calling it now. Alright, final level. As wrong as Dark Souls. Oh, man. Hey, you know what? Sometimes video gaming. Sometimes video gaming. I'm just glad you guys are having fun. I'm glad I'm making this fun for you. That is what matters. That's why I speedrun, so that we all have fun. Alright. So this is the final level. As the final level, it likes to go, hey, look at all these big bad... Oh, you killed it. In a wide buffet guy. Whoa, don't melee me. So, this room is actually very specific. I'm going to make sure that I kill these enemies, please. And then these two should die. They did not die. That's unfortunate. Now I have to do the backup strat. These steelheads, while the shots are slow, steelheads are actually pretty good at predicting where you're going to be moving. And that is very scary, because if a steelhead knows where you're going to be moving... I accidentally overshot that, so I'm just gonna take this really safe at this point. If a steelhead knows where you're going to be moving, it will shoot there, so that its very slow shot will still hit you. And that is mucho no bueno, as I think they say. Much no good. That sounds like cheating. Just be glad this is easy. If we were on Superhuman, they'd be doing it, but better. So, this is meant to be the big penultimate. You're getting to the final boss. I fired a Lark Missile. Do you guys know what a Lark Missile means? Hey, look. It's the big angel, the thing that controls the entire... Oh, it's dead. Hey, look, another one. The thing that controls the... Oh, it's dead. Yeah. Yeah. By the way, the Lark is not a New Game Plus exclusive weapon. All of this stuff I'm doing with the Lark is doable on your first playthrough. Nothing I'm doing, unless I use the Backlash Grenade, or the Dragon, or the Reapers, is something you cannot do. Obviously the Splitter, but you've seen me use this gun, what, twice? So, I mean, you know, it's not... Hey, get off my elevator, bro. It's not a big deal. Alright, final boss. So, remember I said that Chimera are extremely weak to fire. Final boss is surrounded by two things, or by glass. This glass is two things. It is bulletproof. No bullets can get through this. It is energy proof. No type of energy round can get through this. What have I constantly been talking about this whole time? That, I guess it's technically energy, but that's semantics. Bulletproof glass is not, and I would like to emphasize this one more time, is not fireproof. Welcome to the final boss of Resistance Fall of Man. So the intended way to do this room is to go and hit a switch to start this huge process of the tower collapsing, the room falling apart, things are breaking, the tower is slowly dropping its glass shielding, it's exposing itself, letting you get bullets into it. Well, I mean, Devs didn't think about fire. Alright, time is coming up as soon as a symbol appears in the bottom right corner. I will call it, so be ready on time. And time. Oh, I think that was estimate. I don't know. I'm sorry again. That was one heck of a run, people. Oh, man. I'm glad you all enjoyed it. Fleetfest, thank you for having me. Thank you for accepting these games. I hope you enjoyed both of them. Again, I'm SRGTsilent. Give me a follow if you like the content. Join the Ape Escape speedrunning community. We're super friendly. We'd love to help you. Join the Resistance speedrunning community. I'm super friendly. I'd love to help you. I'm the only one who runs these games. Sad face. Before I go, I would like to show something super funny about this game. When you beat this game, every time you beat it, you get a new dev message. We don't need credits. We don't need the Resistance 2. This is my message for beating the game. What? Are you serious? How many times have you completed this game now? Would you be interested in testing games for a living? Give us a call at Insomniac Games. You're our kind of player. There are 2 more messages after this, in case you guys want to unlock all the secret messages. One of them literally just spends like 6 sentences talking about how much of a badass you are for beating the game like 6 times. But yeah, that's Resistance. Thanks for having me, and you guys have a good night, and good luck to the Spyro runner, and I hope Spyro's a good game.